Oh, you sound good. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Blue Shakalaka podcast. I am your host, Tiffany, and I'm joined by my co-host, Pierre.
Here she comes, Miss Teen, she's so fine, such lovely tits, and a great behind. There she is, doggy style anytime. Oh.
I don't know the rest either. Shout out to Scary Movie, the original. We are back with our Christmas horror reviews, and that's horror, WHORROR. I'm so glad you guys have come back to join us. This week we will be reviewing I think, is it a Shudder Classic, Paramount Plus, Max, Sony? It doesn't matter. I saw it on Shudder, and it's A Wonderful Knife, which is a play on It's a Wonderful Life, which actually is a movie I've never seen before. Have you seen It's a Wonderful Life?
Really?
I've never seen it before.
It's the basis for so many TV shows.
Really?
Yeah, like they use that same concept. They use it in Fresh Prince. Like we can go on and on.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I mean, at this point, is it worth it? No, I've seen everything known to man, and I'll just feel like they're just ripping off, like you said. So I'm not gonna waste my time. But I did waste my time watching this movie. Twice. So the synopsis for it is Winnie's life is less than wonderful 1 year after saving her town from a psychotic killer on Christmas Eve. She wishes she was never born, and she finds herself magically transported into a nightmarish parallel universe. With the murderous maniac now back, she must team up with a misfit to identify the culprit and get back to her own reality.
That synopsis is a liar. First of all,
yeah, Bernie was not a misfit at all.
Like, what the hell? Okay. Let me know how you really feel.
I need to look up the definition of misfit. It's probably like the fourth one down that they got that explanation from. I liked Bernie.
So this movie came out in November 2023. Very new. Very, very new.
Yeah, I mean, we went from watching Serial Mom, which came out in 1994, to 2023. You see, there's no basis for our reviews. It's just the theme months, you know.
It's just some bullshit.
Christmas horror.
Watching what gets greenlit and what doesn't.
Pretty much so. But yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started. So we open up
with a terrible looking Justin Long.
Oh my God, Scream King Justin Long with some blue contacts and the biggest veneers I've ever seen in my life. He looks freaking terrible.
And spray tan, like, oh.
He looks disgusting. But I guess if you live in like a wintry town like that, where it's probably cold all the time, you might want to spray tan because the sun's not coming out. What is this, 40? What was that movie? 40 Days of Night?
Oh, God. Stop.
Yeah, one of those movies. So he's doing a commercial that's super cheesy commercial for Waters Corp. And we find out that is his corporation. His name is Henry. His character's name is Henry Waters, and he is the mayor of the Snow Mountain town that they live in. I don't recall the name of it.
Angel Falls.
Thank you, Angel Falls. And they're doing the tree lighting ceremony. So we see him. They light the tree, and the town is like, thanks. It's beautiful. We're out of here. Like, they showed their support, but they really didn't want to be there.
It was a terribly lit tree. It was I'm sorry, not a terribly lit. It was a terribly lit tree for starters. Like, where were the decorations?
Where was the material? It was not on that tree. It was like 18 lights in there. It didn't look good at all. The material was not there. So we see the Carruthers family leaving, and we have Mom Judy, Dad.
We're just gonna call him John at this point.
No, his name is not John. What was his dad's name?
Ben.
Was it Ben?
Was it Ben?
Was it Ben?
Was it Ben?
Is it Ben?
Ben?
Ben, the two of us need look no more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we got the dad, mother Judy, daughter Judy, and daughter daughter Winnie, and son Jimmy. So this is our main family that we're going to be following throughout this movie. And the dad has to leave to go with Henry Waters because they need to go over to Roger's house to do a business deal on Christmas Eve, a real estate business deal. And the family is like, why are you doing this? And the mom's like, well, it's Christmas Eve, go on and go. Mom just like, fuck it, I knew he was gonna go anyway, who gives a shit.
Right. Mind you,
And
Henry has a weird ass brother who's trying to showcase his ding ding.
They said that he got an OnlyFans, and he's like, hey, aren't you glad you saw my penis or something like that? And
yeah,
like,
it was just very random shit. I was like, okay, so this type of movie. Okay.
Yeah, this movie has some definite parts where I was just like, what? This wouldn't have went through like 10 years ago at all. So we get over to Roger's house, and Roger's this older gentleman, and he's like, I don't give a fuck what you say, Henry. Cut the shit. This house is staying in my family. It's going to my granddaughter. Get your ass up out of here. Like, why are you here? I done told you no before.
Then the granddaughter comes downstairs, and I'm like,
it's
what was the reason? Like, he got this black granddaughter. We don't get no context. But she like, we don't
need it. She dies. Almost immediately.
I'm going to the party, granddad. Bye, Mr. Crothers. Fuck you, Henry. Like, it's very much so fuck Henry from everyone.
Yeah, she walked in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Not you. You can choke.
This was the first interaction that we had with Rain, and I wanted to see her anger level. I wanted to see if I was powerful enough to twist her mind.
And she twists his mind. She did. So this is Kara. So Kara's the granddaughter, and she is BFFs with Winnie, who we saw earlier. So Kara heads over to Winnie's house and picks her up to get ready to go to the party. And
we're introduced to the fact that Jimmy's gay and no one cares besides his mom with her rainbow Christmas ornaments, and Aunt Gail and her wife.
Her wife's name was Karen. Aunt Gail and Karen.
And they'll be also essential characters because they are an extended part of the main family.
Right. I just realized we've been watching a lot of LGBTQ movies, and it hasn't been on purpose. I've just been picking movies out, and here we are. So
I feel like they just started including them because they were like black people. They weren't like a big part in horror either.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't mad at it.
But honestly, what was the point of him? I mean, he could have, had he been straight, would it have changed the dynamic of the movie at all?
It wouldn't have changed it at all.
Thank you.
But whatever. Yeah, so they get over to they get ready to go to the party, so they're driving off, and we cut back to Roger's house, and Roger gets a knock at the door, and he's like, Henry, I told you to fuck off, you fucking fuck. And the KKK slasher bursts through the house and gives Roger a smiley face from ear to ear. Cut Roger off. Roger is dead.
You want to know how I got these scars?
They took Roger out of here. I feel like Roger would have had like a shotgun under his seat, under his recliner in the living room. I don't see that happening to Roger.
It was just very easy to kill him. But yeah, so the Grand Wizard kills him, and so then we get we're believed to be the friendship gang. We got Jimmy, we got Winnie, we got Cara. Robbie is Winnie's boyfriend. Darla is their hot but bitchy friend. Because every group needs a mean girl, and so they're kicking it. Yeah, and they're kicking it, and then there's this bitch in the corner looking like moaning Myrtle, and apparently everyone just hates her just because I mean they hate her because she's brunette and stands in corners. That's all you need to bully somebody.
I did wonder why the fuck she was there.
Because if she's the weirdo, if she's the town freak, why the fuck were you invited? You know how like when they have house party movies, like teen movies, they always have to sneak in. Like they don't, or they just not invited. Like, or they're, like why is she there if y'all don't like her? You let her in the front door.
Plot purposes. So they're chilling at the party. They're having a good old time. And then Kara's like, I'm going to go find Eddie. And she walks out. And then we see Jimmy making out with somebody in the woods. We're like, who the fuck is this?
A vibration.
Then here comes, child, who knows? And then here comes no, they hear something and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get the fuck up out of here." And I was like, "Okay, smart, come on,
Right,
come
right,
on,
right. The
do what
biracial
you
black
gotta
side
do."
kicked in. Now Kara's
Hello,
black side, fully black side, didn't click because that boy. First of all, that boy was ugly as hell. That's the first
he
thing I
was
noticed. I was like,
not
he
cute.
is
He was
ugly as shit.
not.
Like,
I don't know about all that, but he was not cute.
and so they're
I don't
making out,
know. Yeah.
and they're making out, and she's like, "What did you eat?" I'm like, not bad breath. And what it
Garlic.
is she's just not a vampire because he spit blood into her mouth, and we see him with a candy cane lodged in his throat. And oh my god.
He said candy cane. Hey, Rustindale.
So the killer kills him, and tries to kill her. He slashes her. She manages to get away. She runs to the house. The door's locked. These bitches in the house.
She never reached for the handle. She just slammed on the window.
Are you gonna be mad if I say that this movie had a lot of references where I was like, did they take that from a scary movie? Because that reminded me of when Helen Shivers ran into her sister's store trying to get in.
Okay,
So
but Helen Shivers' sister's store was closed.
Because I was like, first, I was pissed because I'm like, she banging on the door and they literally just stand there. They just look at her like, a Negro. Like, why aren't y'all letting her? Like, nobody moved towards the door to let her in. She's like, he's trying to kill me, help! And they're just like, who is this?
Is this a prank? Are we being punked?
And so Killer comes in. He whacks her up fierce, like blood all over the window. Not only is he whacking her, but he's slashing her, and they're just watching through the window. Her best friend Winnie waits until she's on the ground dead to, oh, well, let me go out here and see what's up. And so she's like, hey, are you okay?
Not so much on Winnie. Not so much on Winnie. Not so much. Kara dead. Kara is dead to the snow. I wish she would have made a snow angel like on like on previous review Black Christmas. But you know, so Winnie is like, we gotta go. Winnie starts booking it. She out of here. She out of here. And then she runs into Jimmy. Jimmy gets bashed over the head by the killer, and he's like kind of out of it. And it's like, oh shit, what we gonna do? So they running, they hiding, they hiding, they running, they running, they hiding, they hiding, they running. And then he gets the upper hand on Jimmy. He's got Jimmy dead to rights. He's like plunging the knife, trying to get it down on him. And when he looks over, she sees a car battery with the cords on it.
Jumper cables, baby.
Jumper cables. Why are they on?
She sees jumper cables and she's like, let me charge this motherfucker up.
She said clear.
I really want, I need a doctor. I need an engineer. I need a biologist. I need somebody to explain how the fuck she put those on his shoulder and he got fried. No water. Like, ooh, are we to believe he's a carbon copy? Like, what?
Maybe he had leftover tan dye on him and it was wet.
Maybe he had some doo-doo in his shoe there. And so he gets electrocuted and fried and he dies. And so, you know, big reveal, it's the mayor.
Henry Waters. Dun, dun, dun.
And so that's it. And so
yeah, the movie's over. Good night, folks. Have a great one. I give it a 2 out of 5. It was very short.
A wonderful knife. And so we're flash forward to a year later. And, you know, again, this reminds me, I know what you did last summer. Winnie's all depressed. She's still depressed about the fact that she murdered a killer, which this was pissing me off throughout the entire movie. Clearly, Tiffany loves the characters who are the worst characters. I'm going to tell you right now, Winnie ain't shit. So Winnie's sitting up there depressed in her room. She gets rejected from NYU because she probably didn't put in no work. Because for the past year, she's been depressed about killing a killer.
And she was complaining about affirmative action. That's why she didn't get in.
Why she kills a killer? Why she kills a killer?
She should have put that in her NYU paper. Bitch, I had to kill somebody.
Oh my God, yes! That would have been a great.
They would have had her teach a lecture.
Y'all got to capitalize on these tragedies. So yeah, she didn't get in. She go downstairs for Christmas. It's like nobody cares that there was a murder the year before. Her dad gives her some fucking pink workout clothes
because they're flourishing. They're flourishing. No, he called them workout clothes, bitch. That was the J-Lo outfit from the I'm Real video. You're not gonna tell me any otherwise. That was a velour tracksuit.
So they basically say you're
not
fat.
made for the gym.
They basically call her a fat bitch and get her some workout clothes. And Aunt Gail's like, you don't get women presents about their bodies. He apparently got her a scale. I was like, oh wow. Everybody's really desensitized. It's really weird. Mm-hmm. And then we revealed that they got Jimmy a fucking truck, like a Mack truck, and Jimmy's like, it's okay, it's both of ours, we'll both drive it. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, she go off on them.
Like, they could have bought 2 cars for the amount that they paid for that truck.
Right.
Winnie, I feel your pain. I too have I have lived a life with a brother.
Yeah. So apparently, because of the mayor's death and everything, their family kind of like got bumped up, and so they're like flourishing, but only Jimmy is receiving the benefits, pissing me off. And so, when he gets pissed, she leaves. She goes to, apparently they're just year-round Christmas parties. She goes to the same house for the same Christmas party to go find her boy toy. And
well, it's like he was messaging her to come to the party.
Oh yeah, which was that's weird. Yeah, because
make it make sense.
Because she was getting all these stuff. She's like, come to the party, 7:30. She goes in the party. She's like, hey y'all, where my motherfucking nigga? And they.
So she's looking for Robbie. She's looking all over, and she runs into Bernie, who they call Weirdo for some reason. And she's like,
still
hey,
invited
Weirdo.
to the party, but you still invited her to the party.
She's like, hey, Weirdo, you seen Robbie? And she's like, yeah, he's in the backyard. And then she turns to somebody else, like, hey, you see Robbie? And she's like, yeah, he's in the laundry room. And she's like, what? In a laundry room? So she goes up in there, and Ronnie and Darla in there making out on top of the washing machine.
Mm-hmm. And so...
she doesn't seem too upset about it.
She barely fucking reacts. She's like, you suck. And I'm like, ain't nobody gonna get hit.
Wow, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you cheated on me with
Darla. With her fuck ass Bob. And then they talking about, well, we've been hooking up for we've been hooking up for a year, bitch, and you ain't noticed. And I'm just...
And it's like, wait a minute, you've been hooking up for a year, so you started hooking up the day my friend died?
Let's talk about it. She does not react enough for me. And then... But see, who she does decide to have smoke for is Bernie. She like, bitch,
Bernie should have gotten...
You know my man was cheating with my friend. And I'm just like, how you more mad at her than him? And she called her a weirdo. Like, she's like, bitch, kill yourself. And I'm just like, God.
Them be the ones that go back to the man. If they fight the girl, and the girl don't know them, instead of fighting their boyfriend, those are the ones that's gonna go back to him.
But in this instance, she's apparently gonna be her friend and his girlfriend. Because she, like, I'm telling you, no smoke for them, but she had all the smoke for Bernie. Bernie, you good?
Yeah,
you a good one. Because I would have had to slap her.
That.
Like, girl,
we would have fought. We would have fought.
It ain't my fault. Your boyfriend got a pimply, murky, herpy dick. Whore. Anyway,
it's sticking out. That's what she said. Because he tried to zip his pants up. Like this was what's that movie? Oh God, with Ben Stiller and Cameron Diaz.
God,
something about Mary.
Oh, okay.
When he should have got his penis stuck in the zipper. That would have been amazing.
Is that
so she? I was about to say dried ones. That's not right.
I'm going home.
So Winnie leaves. You're already there. So Winnie leaves and she goes over to the boardwalk. And she's just like, why is this my life? Why did this happen to me? Nobody cares about me. I wish I never fucking existed.
And then here's the Wonderful Life reference, everyone. So we've all seen it in every single show. I wish I was never born. And then the wish gets granted. And then the guy realizes that, he sees all the people in his life and he's like, oh, wow, your life sucked without me. I should have been born. And once he realizes that.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what it is. And then that guy comes, he's like, yeah, it's basically like kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Like, you should have known all along you were meant to be here. You've had the answer all along.
So she sees she sees the Northern Lights or the Aurora Lights, whatever the hell they call it. It looked like Aurora Borealis. What is this? David Boreanaz' sister? Like, it looks... Woo! So she sees the lights and it kind of like causes like a blackout. So she turns around and she's like, hey man, Did you see that? Was there a blackout or something? And this guy turns around, he got a knife in his mouth, and he is dying. I was like, wait! You took it out of nowhere. And the KKK slasher, he's back, baby, back, whiter than ever, ready to go. The rally starts promptly at 9. Get your shit, get your flag, get your lighters, get your pitchforks, and show up. And
hide your kids, hide your wife. And so and so that's when it's and so she, you know, she runs, she screams, she finds a police car, she busts out the window of the fucking police car.
Why was she not arrested?
Sydney Prescott energy. And so, you know, she calls on the radio and she's like, there's been a murder. And so who walks up? It's Henry's brother.
Buck.
Whoa,
he came here to fuck.
I'm so mad. I was about to say it too. And so he's like, did you just break the window of my car? And she's like, there's a killer. And she's like, okay. And so
no, that's not what he says. He said, yeah, the angel killer. He strikes every couple of weeks. And I'm like, what kind of town is this? If there was a killer that struck every couple of weeks in one Snow Mountain town, the FBI, the CIA, the president, somebody would be there. If it just keeps constantly happening, no.
That's what happens in Angel Falls, and so Angel Grove Power Rangers, and so so that's when it's revealed that these killings have been going on for a year, every few weeks for over a year. And then she's like, that's when she looks around because she knows who the killer is, and who comes up? The killer. And the mayor's like, hey, you okay? You know, we've never had a witness before. And she's like, oh, well, he was about your height. She doesn't really let it know that she knows, but she kind of hints at it. And that's when she goes and she takes a look at the town, and the mayor owns everything. Like, Henry owns everything, the real estate, like stores, everything. He is like,
I bet you he would even own the African braid shop if there was one in that town.
Motherfucker. So he is the Monopoly guy. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So
all he needed was a little top hat. He should have had a top hat on. That would have been so funny.
So he owns it all. So she's like, what the fuck? So what do? Let me run home to my family. She runs home. She knocks on that damn door. She's like, Dad. He like, bitch. First of all,
who you is?
Literally. And you know, she walked like, how she manages to get through the fucking door, I don't understand. Her mama a drunk whore.
White.
Okay, because
she's a young white girl. They're not fearing her.
Yeah, and so her mom's a drunk whore. Her aunt's there, but you know, the aunt's wife isn't there. And so that's when she's like, you know, where's Jimmy? And everybody's like visibly, you know, distraught. And that's when you find out Jimmy was killed the year before on Christmas. And so everybody's sad. And she's like, I'm your daughter. I don't have a daughter. He's just like, you know, they're just very
get out.
They're just very sad, depressed.
Get out. Leave. Right now. It's the end of you and me. It's too late. And I can't wait for you to be gone. Yeah, so she stop drinking water on me. I'm just gonna make you.
And so she does another dumb thing. So she runs over to the park.
She doesn't know. Like I said, not too much on Winnie. Not too much. Because she does what needs to be done.
To look for, you know, everyone that she, you know, knows. And so she runs over, and so she like, nobody knows her. Everybody's kind of like jaded or weirded out. And
everybody. So at the prior party, earlier that night when she made the wish, people were in there. They were drinking and having a good old time, and they were chewing like weed gummies and playing around. When she makes it back to the party after her wish, these bitches are in there smoking fucking crack
and doing heroin.
Heroin. They got heroin, lean, crack, ecstasy, barbiturates,
Little Wayne's lungs,
Ozempic, 7 and 7s. Bourbon and Coke. I mean, anything you could think of, they're in there doing it. And I'm like, what the fuck is... I felt like I was trapped in Euphoria for a second.
Ooh, good reference.
I was so confused.
Bitch, you better be joking. And so, of course, Bernie's there. Bernie still ain't shit, so ain't shit changed for her. And, you know, she's looking around, and she realizes that Darla and Robbie, they've been dating for 3 years now. And they're all lovey-dovey and smoochy-smoochy. She still can't stand that. She goes outside, and it's just weird, liar reference. These kids are just like beating up on each other. It's like, he's kicking my ass. Do you mind? And I'm like,
I don't know if that was just to span to stretch the runtime because
Yeah,
I
because
didn't.
I feel like somebody just like liar on the writers team. Because I was like, what the fuck? Like,
That was very very odd behavior.
right. So outside of
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
outside of the party, another murder takes place. And so Winnie goes in, she tries to plead her case to her one of the party, not the house owner party or goer, I don't know, the person who the party is for, and she's like a cracked out whore, and she's like, look, I'm a cracked out whore. So I don't believe you. And so she runs outside, she sees the dead body, everybody starts screaming. It's very odd that the killer always knows where Winnie is. There's no explanation of how he knows this. He just always knows where she is.
So I think at that point, the killer was not out to get Winnie. The killer was still trying to kill people whose relatives had something to do with the businesses there. Like you would think that if all these people were murdered that had businesses there, everybody would have moved away from this town. Nobody would still, there would be nobody there. Nobody would be moving there. Somebody kills every couple of weeks and we're okay with it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. So before they killed that person, or before his body was found, Winnie leaves with Bernie because Bernie is like basically the only person that will sit and talk to her, the only person that's not smoking a crack pipe, the only person that's not trying to fuck on the couch. You know, so she's the only one that was just, just kind of, I don't have any plans. So she leaves with her, and then, we catch the guy, we find the guy that's being killed. And so Winnie and Bernie get back to her house, and Winnie is basically Scooby doing it. She got the red string on all the photos. She is being Detective Bernie, and she says she's gonna close the case. And Winnie's like, "Oh, the mayor did it." And she's like, "What? I've been working hard. I've been working for a whole fucking year. You come here, you know who did it?"
And so she gives the rundown. She explains all the magical spells of things. Bernie like, bitch, I don't believe you. You sound like you the killer, because where the fuck were you when this murder happened? Typical reaction. Typical reaction. The stranger is always the one who's the killer. But here come the killer. He throws Santa Claus through the window because he's fucking petty. I'm like, why did you do that? Don't destroy my house.
Santa Claus is coming.
And so Bernie's like, oh, bitch, I believe you now. And so they get chased out. They decide to join forces. And that's when they discover
Wonder Teens activate.
While they're running away from the killer, they realize, they look up at the sky. Oh,
it's a bird, it's a plane.
Princess Aurora from Disney is in the sky. And that's not supposed to happen over a winter town because, I don't know, snow and clouds. And so basically, we're led to believe that because of this magical appearance, wishes were granted. Wyatt decided to grant this one wish and not the obvious one to never let the murder happen. I don't understand. But
no, so it granted 2 wishes, and I'll tell you what the second one is later.
Okay, remember that.
Mm-hmm. They end up going to the movies where Bernie works at. It's the only place that they can hide out. But I'm like, we established earlier in the movie that Bernie's parents weren't home. And you think the killer would come back to the house? Possibly. So anyway, they go over to the movies. I just answered my own question while I was talking. Sometimes you gotta talk it out,
Mm-hmm.
So they go back into the movies, and they go into the movie theater and they get close. They end up talking to each other, and Winnie realizes that Bernie is a very nice person. And, she's like, wow, I'm really glad that you're helping me out through this, because obviously everybody that I thought was my friend ain't my friend. The only friend that I had was Carrie, and she did. So, I'm so glad that I have you to talk to. And then, boom, here comes the killer again. Now it's like, well, how does he know where she is?
Mm-hmm.
He knew exactly where she was. And that leads me to believe, why... No, the killer was not after Winnie. The killer was after Bernie, so it can own the movie theaters.
Ooh,
because
okay.
I think that Bernie said that was her.
Yeah, okay.
Town, baby, this is a town full of entrepreneurs.
Literally, why does everybody own everything? Damn.
Angel Falls entrepreneurship.
Ain't no fucking local Walmart where it's just a franchise.
Nothing. If it's a franchise, they pay for the franchise, like Chick-fil-A or something like that. They ain't nothing. He's trying to get everything. So the killer comes in there and they beat him down. This is the part I didn't like. They don't kill him when they beat him down. And they just run up out of there. I'm like, we got to stop this. Winnie, you've been on it. You've been killing. You've been fucking people up and taking names. Don't do this now. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Winnie, Rennifer.
Yeah, and this is not a supernatural killer. They've already shown that they can kick his ass, but they refuse to kick his ass. I don't understand. So what does Winnie do? She's like, I'm gonna go to my family again. And this is where I'm like, okay, girl, you're beating a dead horse.
Well, she goes because she says that her dad is close to Henry. So
Yeah.
she's like, if I can talk to anybody and tell them what happened, maybe I can reveal to my dad that Henry killed Jimmy, and we could team up together, and me, him, and Bernie can go whoop some ass.
Right.
And Gail, because the mama ain't coming because her drunk ass is asleep.
So she shows up at the house. He slams the door in her face again, but Gail opens the door. Again, why they letting this girl in, I do not understand. But I do understand this part. She's like, okay, well, tell me something you can't Google, bitch. And she's like, well, girl, you had a thong on, you sat it on some ice, you got frostbite.
She called it an Aguilerian thong, like
Christina
Aguilera.
I thought that was a legitimate thong, like some style, like I don't know about. I don't wear thongs.
Aguilerian thong.
So yeah,
she like that white girl, Christina Aguilera. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's like, yeah, you caught chlamydia from the song, and yeah, that's how I know that. That's how you know I'm telling the truth. So she lets her in the house. Her mom getting slutted out by some junkie.
What was that all about? And the dad still lived there.
Yeah. She's catching Aunt Gail up, and they're all like talking while he's upstairs. Very weird. But anyway, she goes upstairs and she tries to convince her dad. Like, she tries to like lead with a lie. Like, I'm Jimmy's friend. I remember him. They try to connect over memories with Jimmy. And, they have a moment until she calls him dad again. And he's like, what the fuck did you call me? Like, he's very like, he's like very triggered by the word dad. So what the fuck you call me? Get the fuck out, bitch. Get out, get out, get out. And so, she runs downstairs and they're like, and her mom's like, don't let him talk to you like that. Again, she's getting like raw dogged on the counter while we speak. It's like
crazy.
Even as on Gail, I'm like, girl, why are you staying around this? I get that's your brother, but what the fuck?
Well, she reveals that she lost her wife too to the killer. So I guess she just wants to be close to family.
So in the meantime, all of a sudden, baby, ain't no more mom, ain't no more side piece. The killer is just stabbing everybody. Stabbing. And he always slaps, like he stabs Bernie, like he be fucking them up and they be letting him like, ow, like he stabs
the mom did, and the boyfriend, ow, like who are you supposed to be, Michael Jackson or James Brown? The mama did, the boyfriend did, and Bernie, Gail, and Winnie run upstairs to try to get away from the killer. And I'm like, why didn't they run out the front door?
So they be fucking him up when they want to. They knock him down the stairs. Then we get the Scream 2 reference. We have to cross over the body. And then they move as slow as hell. I'm just like,
the only thing I would have fucking done was pile drive on his fucking stomach. Yo, I'm taking you out. Like,
from the top of the steps. Throw a paint can like
Yo, you would have thought my name was motherfucking Zangief. I'm tearing you up. I'm coming.
Throw a paint can down the stairs. I don't know, something. Like, they have never watched Home Alone in their lives, so they walk down the stairs very slowly. And then they like have this I swear it took like 20-30 seconds. She got to take the mask off, and that's when it's revealed that the killer is her dad. That part shook me. Because I was like,
yeah.
So you put this motherfucking KKK outfit on upstairs, came downstairs and killed your wife and her side. What
did you do? Did you jump off the stairs? Climb down
they got an elevator like MTV Cribs.
No, in every movie, they always have like that wicker thing. It's like wood. What's it called? It looks like a fence, and they have it on the side of their house, and all the kids always climb down it.
Oh yeah,
he went down that. You know what I'm talking about? You know the trope.
Yeah.
He went down that, and I was just.
Yeah.
So he jumps up, and they run off. They go back to the movie theater, and they're like, "Okay, we got to think of a plan. Look, we got to do something." Freddie died by fire. Like, they come up, they know exactly what happens, and they find out that other wishes came true. And the other wish that I wanted to talk about was Henry wished for something. Really? He wished for the town, which is why, in the end, I'm kind of skipping ahead, everybody is possessed.
Okay.
So he made a wish too. So Winnie's wish and Henry's wish both came true, because there's no other way to explain why those people were under a spell, and they all had blue eyes. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So they're back at the theater. Yeah, you go ahead.
Another horror movie reference. This was House of Wax, because they decide to set up fake dolls in the theater to sort of like lure the killer into a trap. Who interrupts the fucking trap? Robbie and Darla. And then she go and she spray them with with the fire extinguisher. She's like, "What the fuck are y'all here?" And she's like, "Oh, it's our 3-year anniversary. We met here." And then like, Bernie confirms, like they come here all the time. And so in the midst of them fucking up the trap, Aunt Gail dies, and I was really mad about this because Aunt Gail was like really the only smart character in the fucking movie.
But she had no weapon, so she wasn't smart. Because the killer's not using a gun or anything. Like, why don't you have pepper? Well, the mask.
He's literally using a tiny ass knife.
Yo, a belt, a bat, a frying pan.
And so she gets impaled, and so Robbie and Darla, they die. We don't give a fuck. And
wait, it was established earlier that Winnie was a photographer, and she had a camera, so the power gets cut off after Gail dies, Aunt Gail dies, and she's in there flashing cameras. So there's just a reference to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She keeps flipping the camera, or say cheese and die from Goosebumps, whichever one you want to fucking talk about. Something. And then Darla and Robbie die. We don't give a shit about them, and the chase ensues.
Mm-hmm.
We're running. Bernie's trying to get the lights back on. Winnie is fighting for her fucking life. She can't see nothing. Like, where's her cell phone? Where's her flashlight and her phone? Was this? Did they have a phone anywhere in this? Yeah. She was texting Robbie. Where was the flashlight and her phone? I need an answer.
An EP. An EMP went off, and so that's and so basically the killer chased her upstairs, and she actually does impale him. She ends up killing her fucking dad, and
her not dad.
Yeah. And she's like, upset about it, but then she's like, well, at least the wish will now, that's because the conclusion is if they kill the killer, the wish will be undone. So she goes, and she's like, all right, let it be done. Let it be over with. I want my life back. And nothing happens. And then she's like, fuck you, bitch.
She said, awake. Awake. What croc?
She's like, this Aurora Borealis is a fat cunt. The shoes that this Aurora wore were old maiden shoes. And so
she said that they belong on what type of feet did she say? And she is nothing of the sort.
Yeah. A beautiful woman. Someone just put it. She was hot, sexy, and fly, and she's nothing like that. She's nothing of the sort. And so that's when they're like, oh snap, maybe we actually have to kill Henry then. And so there's a town hall tree lighting meeting, something. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I don't know. So, it was like the lottery, or it was the Hunger Games. Like people were coming up, and he has his brother Buck up there. He's like, Buck, you've been naughty. Like his teeth are like this. You've been naughty.
And so he reveals that Buck was applying for a transfer to another town. Because
Buck said, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So I guess Buck did not know what was going on.
Well, I thought that they established that so he did the first murder. Then he had Winnie's dad do the other murders to gain everything, including killing the sheriff to make his brother the sheriff so that he would not get caught. I thought, so in my mind, I was like, his brother knows. Maybe he didn't, or maybe he didn't think he would kill him. He does kill him, ladies and gentlemen. He stabs his brother in front of the whole town, and nobody reacts. And that's when you see that everybody has these like blue aura eyes. And it's like, okay, where is this movie going? Because it's been non-supernatural up until this point. Like, yeah, the wish changed something, but there are no like supernatural powers that have been given.
Yeah, I feel like maybe 10 or 15 scenes were cut out. Because I had to come up with my own fucking conclusion.
Yeah, and this was a very short movie. And so, so he kills his brother, and Winnie and Bernie run up and expose themselves. Like, bitch, we know you're the killer. And so they bring them on stage, and they like slap them around a little bit, but very barely. It was cringe. This part was cringe. This was when I was like, were y'all just trying to end the movie? Because this
they were doing their hands, they were winding their hands up for an uppercut, like
barely punching him, and then they like knock him off the stage, and then like the townspeople come and you think they're gonna turn on him, but they don't. Like it was very like, where is this going? Like writer strike. Hello.
Yeah, I think maybe they had like the beginning of the script written and then something happened towards the end. But they end up like beating the shit out of him, knocking him down. Like he tries to choke out Winnie, and Bernie was like, "Oh hell no, bitch!" Pow pow pow, and she ends up stabbing him. So he falls down to the ground, and all the people are out of their trance. The trance is gone. And then all the townspeople pounce on him and try to, basically, I guess they kill him.
Yeah,
because I guess they knew what was going on. After Winnie, somebody who they've never seen before in their life, and Weirdo, somebody who everybody thinks is a weirdo, told them that he killed everybody in town, and they just believed it. They were like, "Fuck it."
right.
Fucking
And we never
Nantucket.
see Bernie's parents though, and so that's when it's revealed like Bernie was like, "Oh, this is gonna be my last year. Like I was gonna like take myself out," and I'm like, "Girl, you've lasted longer than I thought you would." And so that's when she's like, I was meant to save you, and then they kiss, and I'm like, when we became lesbians.
Immediately in the beginning, because when they were first at the party, Winnie kept looking at her and was like, she gave her that, walking by somebody on the trail.
I hate you. Not
smile.
the white people. Not the white people. Hello.
She kept doing that to her, and it was just like, okay. So they kiss. She wakes up, and she wakes up in the velour outfit. Like, bitch, did you go to sleep in it? How did you make it back home? Like, I want to see what happens behind the scenes when, nobody's there. Like, she didn't go home and go to sleep, did she? Well, I guess she could have, because Gail was dead, the daddy was dead, the mama was dead. Never mind. I guess she could.
So the spell has been broken, and she jumps up and she's like, "Oh my God, everyone remembers me. My room is here." She goes downstairs.
Shout
and
for joy.
She apologizes
and
to her parents,
rejoice.
even though they should have apologized to her. Jimmy's alive, Aunt Gail's wife is alive. She's like, I love you guys. And they're like, we should have been more sensitive to you. Again, this is very weird. Like the fact that y'all were even acting like her best friend didn't die. Like it was just very weird. Also, it was very weird how like his brother was like mad at her for killing him. Like, you killed my brother. Like, I'm like, your brother was like,
your brother killed a young girl.
It was trying to kill me. Like it.
Yeah,
anyway,
that was really
it was just
odd.
very
thrown
really off how they tried to pretend it didn't exist, and now she's just okay with them pretending that it whatever.
She's just happy to be home.
Right. So they're like, okay, la 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 la, Merry Christmas. And she's like, I didn't get in NYU. They're like, bitch, we don't really care about you. You were never our favorite.
You should have wrote the story about you killing the man when you submit your paperwork next year. Write that story.
Right. Or write the story about what you just went through, at least. Like, come on, like try harder, kids. And so she runs over and she's like, I gotta go to Bernie. And so she runs past Darla and Robbie, and she's like, you guys belong together. You're good. It's okay that you fucked. And they're like, okay, girl. And
I mean, they told you they didn't care at the party.
Like that was unneeded. And so she runs to Bernie's house, and Bernie's like, who the fuck are you? And so
she's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
And so she's like visibly disappointed, and then Bernie's like, gotcha, bitch. And she's like, I remember everything because of magic. And I was like, oh, so what? And that part threw me off too, because why does she get to remember? Usually no one remembers.
Right.
Usually no one remembers but the person who made the wish. But
so like Gail should have remembered.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess but maybe not, because they didn't die. No, because they did die.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll give. You help them out too much for me. And so they. Well, do they kiss, or do they just? She kissed her forehead, but I don't know.
Yeah, they just hug, and she's her new best friend.
So we're best friends now. We're not fucking anymore. And so
that was it, bitch.
A wonderful knife.
Was it? I didn't find it too wonderful.
It was an interesting concept. I'm noticing that they're just kind of taking interesting tropes and putting them in horror movies. This is how I felt about Better Watch Out. Like it's like, tropes that are normally not for horror movies, they're putting them in there, and they're like, making a twist out of it, which is technically original, even though you're using a Hollywood trope from a movie that came out like 100 years ago. So I can't be too mad. It's not a reboot. It's
Mhm.
something original. We can't complain when they give us something original, even if it's bad.
Yeah, so for It's a Wonderful Knife, I think I'm gonna give it just a straight 5 out of 10. It's okay. I don't. If somebody says, "Hey, how was It's a Wonderful Knife?" and I'm gonna say it's okay, and they're like, "Oh, should I watch it?" and like, if you want to.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. But the thing about this movie that redeems it, it's okay. So it's like a dumb bitch movie, and like a dumb bitch movie is a movie where it's like it's so terrible it's kind of funny. Reference, Zombievers. So it's like it's so terrible, but when you watch it, it's just like something that y'all can like sit around, you and your friends can like laugh and joke and like well, look at how fucking awful this is. Like it's a bringer together. It's like it's literally something that'll bring y'all together, and then y'all will just
Bring
be
her
like,
together.
like this was some trash ass shit, but y'all can laugh and be entertained. So I would be like, it's like that.
Okay.
And
I got nothing else for it.
That's literally all I have for it. Interesting concept. Shudder, I'm gonna need my 82 minutes back.
Shudder, I'll take my $6.99 back. No, I need it for Dragula. Anyway, all right, so that'll do it. That was It's a Wonderful
Drag queen. A drag queen. I am the queen of drag.
That was It's a Wonderful Knife. Be sure to follow us on Twitter X at BlueShakalakaPod, and you can email us at BlueShakalakaPodcast@gmail.com. Send in your requests. This is still our Christmas horror month. So next week we will be reviewing It's on you.
It ain't on me. Let's do Jack Frost. We'll either do
Jack Frost, the Mutant Killer Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? No,
one you suggested. One you suggested, maybe, because I thought you suggested one, and I was like, no. Or am I making that up?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll do raggedy ass Jack Frost.
Jack Frost, the Mutant Killer Snowman. Be sure to tune in next week. It's gonna be amazing. I actually don't even need to rewatch that. I know everything that happens and every scene, and I know the quotes. It's amazing.
And that's sad, and you need to pray.
All hail Jack Frost. All right, we'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.
Scare you later.